Well, it was a girl that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Her name was Simonne Pitchfork. No, her name was, her cousin was Shalon. Her name was Simonne Pitchfork. Like, yeah, Simonne Pitchfork, that's the name. But it was Simonne Shalon, and Simonne was absolutely gorgeous. She was this gorgeous black girl that the whole neighborhood was in awe. She was just so beautiful. And she ended up addicted to crack and a prostitute, but that's a different story. Well, I started performing on a dare. A friend of mine took me to the Queen Mary, and one of the girls wasn't there. Her name was Candace. She used to do down Ross there. And they dared me to replace her for that night. It was on my birthday. I think it was on my birthday. And they dared me to do it, and I actually did it. But singing-wise, also became a dare, because once I did that, the owner of the club found out that I sang. Because my friend said, oh, well, you know, she sings too. And he was like, oh, really? And he was like, well, I want to hear you sing something. And so I sang something. And that's how that started. I used to be in this with three friends of ours, and we called ourselves Onyx. But we would lip sync. And it was just a little dinky little thing we did for fun. It was horrible. It was really bad. I mean, the dread was horrible. But that's when I got my feet wet doing it. But professionally in front of an audience and all that, that was the Queen Mary. The best advice I got was from Butchie, who was the hostess at the club, at the Queen Mary where I worked. I remember when I first started working there, he pulled me aside and he said, girl, you need to put on more makeup. You need to pay for the fucking balcony, because they pay their money and they want to see your face too. Because, you know, when you first start out, you don't realize how you have to paint for stage. Painting for stage is different than everyday makeup. And he pulled me aside and said, girl, you need to pay for the balcony. And I'll never forget that, and I tell that to everybody. New York City. Queens, New York. Queens from Queens. I moved to LA. It was me and my brother. Me and my brother moved out together. We were just sick of New York. And one day we said, let's go. Because we always would see California on TV and so glamorous and stuff. I was like, well, let's go to California. So we just got on a plane and came to California. Granted, it was not as it was in the movies. No, it was hard. Oh, Lord Jesus. There's so many. There are so many. I mean, I know transgender women who are doctors, lawyers, who have families. But the one that's out there is that they're prostitutes and they're just streetwalkers and they just have a quick buck and they're on drugs. It's a horrible misconception. Because I remember when I first came to California and I first started transitioning, when we went to West Hollywood, they wouldn't allow us in the clubs. The gay community itself was against transgendered. It was really bad. They would ask you like for 3, 4 forms of ID, and who has 4 or 5 IDs on them? So we would never go to West Hollywood. For a long time, we never go to West Hollywood. So that's why the Queen Mary was such a big thing at the time, because it was a place that the girls could go to. That the Queen Mary and Peanuts was 2 clubs that the transgender girls could go to. Oh, wigs. Wigs, I run barefoot. Wigs! Hair, as much as you put on your head. Okay, for, well, every black queen has Diana Ross. Her I had for glamour. For glamour, no one beats Diana Ross. For vocal ability, and vocal-wise for voice, there's a singer, Stephanie Mills, that I idolize. And I idolize her for her voice. Her and Chaka Khan are my idols. I don't understand that. You know, the thing that gets me is, I notice that when a lot of the girls get dressed up, they try to turn into a black woman. And they think a black woman is always, you know, vicious, mean, snappy, very on. And I don't understand that. I have friends that get dressed up and they are totally different people. And I think that's kind of bipolar or schizophrenic. I mean, you're still the same person. It's just an extension of yourself. That's the way I see it. It's just an extension of myself. I'm not a totally different person, because that's impossible. That's you're in another room there with me when you start talking like that. One of my creative outlets, what I did when the club closed, I was like, I need a job. I started doll repainting. It's called doll repainting, and it's called one-of-a-kind doll repaints. And I was online one time, and I saw this, and I'm like, what is this one-of-a-kind doll repaint? So you take a doll, like a Barbie or a Robert Towner doll, and you take all the makeup off of it, and you create your own face, or you create your own image of what you want this doll to look like. That's why they're one-of-a-kinds. And I started doing that and started selling them on eBay, and did really well. I just knew I could do it. I don't know why, but I just picked it up, and I've been really, really, really successful. I'll show you what it is. Right here, this is what I'm working on right now. I haven't finished it yet. It's for a friend of mine. This is, everybody should know who this is. This is Medusa. And this is the snakes in her head. I gotta put the little heads on her. See, I got one with a head on her. But the rest of them don't have heads on them. But I gotta finish her. Here we have, I don't know who she is. I call her the Queen of Sheba. But she's a black doll. And my favorite of them all, which I had so many offers to purchase, but I just could not get rid of her. I could not get rid of her because I'm a really big, huge Egypt history fan. I just love Egyptian history. So, and of course, the grandest of them all was Nefertiti. So, I made me a Nefertiti doll. I've made 3 of them so far. The other 2 I sold. This is my favorite. Called Nefertiti, Queen of the Nile. And she's fabulous, she's fabulous. And I had so many offers to sell her, but I couldn't part with her. I just couldn't. Because I'm fabulous, why not? Are you crazy? It's a non-question. No, it's a fabulous, fabulous show. I mean, it really is. I love it. I love it.